G'day boys, I just want to give you a bit of feedback here for question 22c, which is the 10 marker on respiratory disease. So what I've done here, I've got the actual exam question here, and below here is the syllabus point where it comes from, and this document is actually the document that you're all given on PM Online. So you can see, read the question there, summarise the nature, extent, risk and protective factors, determinants and groups at risk for respiratory disease. And that is directly from this dot point. You don't even need to remember anything to do with the dot point because it's all listed here for you in the actual question. So straight away what I would expect when you see that sort of a question is respiratory disease is your heading, and you break it into 5 areas. So nature, the extent, the risk and protective factors, the determinants and also the groups at risk. And that is exactly from the Students Learn 2 part of the syllabus, which is obviously on the right hand side of the syllabus as you look at it. So, like I said, a pretty straight up and down type question. It's just go 5 headings, give all the information you can for each heading. Now I've got an example of an answer here that I'd like you to look at that's been pretty well set out. And you can see this answer here got a 10. And I've actually circled the areas where he's put each heading. So you can see here, determinants is circled over here, but that's only because he wrote all the different versions of the determinants there. But you can see, looking with nature, he's given me 2 or 3 things, well 3 things actually to do with the actual nature of the disease. So nature being what it is, you can read through what he's written. With the extent, he's given me some correct statistics, so 3 correct statistics or 3 correct pieces of information relating to what is happening with this disease in terms of is it increasing or decreasing, what's it like for males, females. With risk and protective factors, he's given me a number of different risk factors here, and also he has given me some protective factors as well. So that the combination of the risk and protective factors here makes that a very, very good answer. And also here for the determinants, which actually, you'll note I spelled that wrong, but I didn't ping him for that. You'll see here, he's given the actual determinants. So males, socioeconomic status, if we just move on to page 2 now, people with, the low socioeconomic status, not only has he said that that's a determinant, he's explained why that it's a determinant, looking here with the hazardous jobs where they live, and also that they would be more likely to smoke. People living in rural remote areas, not only has he said why, what the determinant is, but why it's actually a determinant. Again, non-English speaking backgrounds, people with lack of education, which coincidentally ties right in with the low socioeconomic status people. The only area where I can fault him here is because with the groups at risk he has listed. And if you look back to the question, which is this one, the question actually says summarise the nature, it doesn't say list. Okay, so if you ever get a question that says anything other than list, don't ever set out your answer like this. You can pretty much put the same information in a sentence, but that's the difference between summarising and listing. He didn't get penalised for that because the rest of his answer was so strong that I didn't feel that warranted, but just let that be a warning to you all so you can answer a question properly. But you'll see, again, the reason I included this answer as my example is because it was so well set out. And I've said to a number of you, you need to set out your answer a lot better. This is what I mean. You can see, let's just recap again. I can clearly see, and you can clearly see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over the page, the 5th area that he's going to talk about. That's very easy to read, very well set out, and excellent examples, excellent answer. So well done to this student.